Are processed foods horrible human killers or just misunderstood? In this episode, we will break down the meaning of processed foods and identify the 4 different types of processed foods. We'll also discuss whether all processed foods are unhealthy. According to the Department of Agriculture, processed foods are any raw agricultural commodities that have been washed, cleaned, milled, cut, chopped, heated, pasteurized, blanched, cooked, canned, frozen, dried, dehydrated, mixed, or packaged, anything done to them that alters their natural state. To be clear, most of the foods that you buy from the grocery store have been processed. We are all aware that ice cream and soda are processed. But did you know that the package of cleaned and cut broccoli florets are also processed? Or that a bag of frozen strawberries is a processed product? Let's break down the 4 different types of processed foods according to USDA.gov. The first category is unprocessed or minimally processed foods. Unprocessed foods are whole foods in their original state. The tomato that you pick from your own garden is an unprocessed food. Minimally processed foods include things like the broccoli we previously discussed, a bag of washed apples, or a package of cleaned raw nuts. These items may have a bit of cutting, bagging, or cleaning, but are in essence the original product. The next category is processed culinary ingredients or minimally processed foods. These food products are altered by being dried, ground, or pressed. This category includes foods like oils, maple syrup, or dried beans. These items often include only one ingredient, not unlike the unprocessed foods from the previous category. Processed foods or lightly processed foods are the third category, which include foods that have been canned, frozen, or packaged that contain 3 to 4 ingredients. This would include items like pasta, canned artichokes in oil, and pickles. The health factor of these items would vary depending on the product. The last category is heavily processed or ultra-processed foods, also known as junk food. These foods have 5 or more ingredients and are filled with preservatives, sugar, oils, stabilizers, etc. These foods also include ingredients that do not occur naturally, meaning these ingredients are lab created. Ultra-processed foods are often low in nutrients, including vitamins and minerals, and also low in fiber. Almost all of the foods in this category are unhealthy. Examples of these heavily processed foods include chips, soda, hot dogs, frozen pizza, and so much more. These foods are often hyperpalatable, which is why we sometimes really crave these unhealthy junk foods. Heavily processed foods should be considered a treat at best, and likely even avoided. Ultra-processed foods have many more calories than whole foods in their natural state and can be difficult to moderate. These types of foods contribute to weight gain, diabetes, heart disease, and many other health issues. A study published in JAMA, the Journal of the American Medical Association, found that people who ate the most processed foods were more likely to die from all causes, including heart disease, cancer, and stroke. And here's a startling statistic. 73% of the U.S. food supply is ultra-processed, according to Northeastern University's Network Science Institute. So are all processed foods unhealthy? While I'm not a medical professional, I think it's pretty clear that all processed foods are not unhealthy. So how can you tell if a food is healthy without a master's degree in nutrition? Learning to read nutrition labels is a good start to identifying which foods are healthy and which foods are not. Foods with 1 to 2 ingredients, such as frozen corn or canned black beans, would be a healthy choice. A food with a long ingredient list would most likely be considered a heavily processed food and therefore should be avoided most or all of the time. If you have concerns about your diet, learning more about nutrition labels is a great start. The Food and Drug Administration has some great information on learning how to read food labels. Check them out at FDA.gov. Adding whole foods such as fresh fruit and vegetables, raw nuts and seeds, dried beans and legumes, and whole grains is often a good decision. For more information on healthy eating, check out nutritionfacts.org. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Ask Lala. If you enjoyed this content, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Hitting that notification bell will ensure that you are notified of more plant-based content. Bye!